Hello again. Moment you've all been waiting for, setting up vehicle weapons and having character weapons being able to be shot while aboard a vehicle, which we will start with. Character weapons. All we need to do is select what weapons will be allowed. So will we allow the left hand, will we allow the right hand? So most weapons in general are right handed. So we'll start by, we might choose the passenger seat and just go for the right handed one for now. So we'll choose that. Now you'll see the IK that we set in the previous video for the passenger seat. It only takes effect if there's no weapon available. So we've still got our crappy IK, but can shoot out of the window. Okay, the weapon's taken away when you change seats. Change to whatever weapon you like. For grenades. The other seats haven't been specified. Can't use them. Okay. Very cool. So if you wanted to drive and shoot, do a very similar thing there. It works best if you set up a left-handed weapon, obviously. But just for example here, driver seat, we'll allow some weapons here. See, one hand is on the wheel, and that's how easy it is to have your character firing weapons from any seat. You just designate it simply in this area here, the allow equipped items. Very good. Sorry about that, just had to duck out for a second. Okay, back to it. So now we will set up a weapon that can be attached to a vehicle or used standalone. So we'll navigate to the blank prefab here at Assets, Fast Skill Team, NeoFPS, Seating Controller, Demo, Models, Weapons, Turret Machine Gun, MG, Turret, Portable, Rigged. Drop that in. First of all, we can start by setting up the weapon. If you're going to have a vehicle with weapons, it's best to always have your weapons set up first, because there's handy little editors along the way. They'll speed things up for you. So what we'll do is we will have a look at the model and how it's designed. So it's the root bone, it's a swivel bone, and that's the machine gun. Now these should only rotate on certain axes, so it all looks mechanically correct. When the weapon is set up and used by a character. Okay, so we understand that the swivel should go around the y-axis, machine gun should go around the x-axis. We'll start by adding directly on the machine gun at the top, so we can easily find it, the vehicle weapon shooter component. Okay, first thing we're going to want to do here is add the objects that rotate, which is the swivel, and it will be driven by horizontal input. Yep, that's correct. Left and right with the mouse. It will want to rotate around the y-axis, and we should probably have a limit set so we can't aim too far up and down. The smoothing must be set. That's the speed. If it's at 0, it's locked still. So that's at 50. Now we'll add another one, and this will be the machine gun, and it'll rotate on the x-axis and be driven by the vertical input. Great. We can have that unlimited, so it can turn the whole way around. The UI section here, we will cover that later when I do the tutorial on the UI system, because we'll be doing lots of cool things with that, like setting up the UI for the tank as well. So all this section here, crosshairs, etc., will be covered in that. Fire location is necessary, so on the end of the machine gun here, we will add one. Now there's a few ways of setting up a weapon. There's the very stock standard basic way, which gives you a couple of little different options that can be handy for moving vehicles and things, but we'll go over them. So we want to choose the machine gun, the vehicle weapon shooter, and we'll scroll down and find the fire location, and we'll just fill some of these in with that. The muzzle flash location, tracer location, etc. Shell and smoke location you can use. For now we're just going to get it nice and quickly set up and shooting. Fire force, this will apply force to a rigid body that it hits, that it's shot from, sorry. So for like a tank, if you are firing a projectile, then a lot of times you'll want some fire force applied to the tank so that it gets a bit of a shake up happening after the shot. So that's really handy for army tanks and things like that. Use rate, this is all pretty self-explanatory stuff. Now that's almost as basic as it needs to be. You do need an ammo effect. So we'll add just a nice simple one here, bullet ammo effect, and that is pretty much good enough to be firing away, just like that. There's they use audio clips, we can add audio and things like that. So let's just have a look at that. Weapon assault rifle one will be good. We'll just whack one in for now, because I'll be showing you the other way as well. For the bullet ammo effect, it's not entirely necessary unless you're going to use a projectile. So you can add a projectile because they're cool. Make it B1, and that should be enough to get firing. First though, we should adjust where that sits. As that little helper gizmo just showed us, the projectile would have collided with itself. Okay, and it's saying it should go a little bit further out to be on the safe side. Beautiful. Now, to actually fire that, all we need to do is add to the root of it the board source. I mean, we could go through the full setup. Let's just quick setup. And now it's going to find here that there's been a machine gun specified, and it's gone and added a driver's seat for us because there was none. There was no seats at all, so it gave us a default seat. And it's going to ask us what input name will we use. So we want it to be in the driver's seat, and we want to use primary fire, so that's good. So, okay, great. Now we've had a little bit of a problem here because there was no camera pivot found. The board source doesn't know that you're going to have weapons every single time, so it's not really designed to do that itself naturally. But you can easily click the fix button here to create that and have that variable set for you. It will create it under the seat that it was specified for, which in this situation we're not going to want. We want the camera pivot to be with the machine gun, that's to get the end rotation of the whole thing. So we can just set that roughly. The board source interactive object, we can just give that a bit of an adjustment, let us in nice and easily. The enter exit location can be at the back, and it could be hooked to the swivel, along with the driver's seat should be hooked to the swivel so that it and positioned correctly, because the driver's seat should turn with only the swivel. Okay, you don't want it going up and down with the gun, because then your player's it's not gonna look really good. Now there might be situations that you could do that, or you might need to, but anyway, this is the way we are going to do it. So we have necessary components. Everything seems to be okie dokie. Did the one other thing we got to make sure every time is the interactive object is correct layer. Yes, it is. Okay, great. We don't really need to set the layer on this. We can get away with that. Later we'll set the hand IK links and make it a little bit cooler. So now when I enter this, I have a weapon. Now you'll see the camera up to the left. It's very, very rotational. It's too much extra rotation. That's coming, even though the character's invisible, that's what it's coming from. So I'll show you how to remedy that for seats that you don't need the extra upper body rotation occurring. So first I'll make him visible, and I'll give you a better example of that. Okay, so we hop on. He's really turning his upper body and head. It doesn't look very natural, does it? No. So to remedy that, all we need to do is deselect the allow look input for that seat. Okay, that will remedy that. Then the next step, we'll take the hand IK links, we'll create them, and we'll do that. Now as you can see, he's moving a lot better with the weapon, as he should. Okay, very good. To make that all the more aesthetically better, we want to add some empty objects, left and IK, target, and we want to make a right hand, OK, target. Then we will add the IK target components, and they will automatically find and select the goals for you because they've been named correctly. Okay, great. Now we just got to position them, and again, I'll just be doing this roughly. You can neaten up things how you like. You'll likely be doing this on your own things anyway, instead of demo assets. Great, so now there's IK. What needs to happen for that? It's hooked right to the end of the gun, so it goes up and down. It's separate from the seat. Okay, so we need to actually add that machine gun as the root, or to make it even more performant, create one for them. Okay, so and that'll do. There we go. Now, if we go and drop that into the hand IK links root slot, we have hands IK, much like the steering wheel for the Jeep over here. Very similar. This saves a lot of animating, it saves a lot of extra work. So as you can see now, he's on the gun, his hands are on it. Obviously there's some that could be made there. Rotate the hands, etc, etc. But that is all we need to display the functionality. From there, adding a weapon like that, you could just simply go through that whole entire process on the Jeep, except for using its board source for the slots here, and clicking the update on that, and it'll find that. Or you can simply duplicate what you've already done and make use of it. So to make use of this, we obviously don't need the board source. Okay. We don't need the interactive object. The colliders will need to be removed or changed to something a little bit better for physics, like a box collider or something, a primitive, because when it's attached to the Jeep, you'll get the physics error for colliders needing to be non-convex on rigid bodies. So the stand we won't need. We could just turn that off for now. Actually, we'll just unpack this real quick, and we'll delete that. And the swivel's fine, can stay there, although we won't use it. We don't need the driver's seat, we don't want to auto find that when we set it up. And our exit location, not needed. Basically, everything is good to go there. Hands correct, camera pivots, all that. And we have template. After I hook this onto the Jeep, I'll then show you some more advanced ways of setting it up, so you can use the Neo firing system as well, a lot more. So this I'll hook up to the Jeep where it is designed to be hooked up. When I created the model, I created an object called weapon attachment. So I'll zero that out, and we will actually scale that guy down because it's way massive for this and then move that into position. It just fits on there. Pretty good, that will do. Okay. And as I was saying, it was designed with this weapon attachment so that the seat, the gunner seat, which we'll create now, can be created under it. And that that gunner seat itself, can we put it in a better position where he's going to stand back a bit, sort of thing. The seat is going to rotate with this object that we are going to set, the vehicle weapon shooter, to rotate. So rather than the pivot here, rotating it as we did before, we'll swap that over to this. So what we'll do is we'll select the weapon that we created, the vehicle weapon shooter component. We'll go down and see where it says the swivel, what we set up before. We'll simply change that to the weapon attachment. Great. Now, for that to be set up on the vehicle, we will want another seat. And yet again, this is much faster to do when we've named everything correctly, as we have done. And we don't need to go through the manual process of adding the seat like this, you know, and choosing it and selecting the positions and so forth and so forth. On top of that, if we just click update seats, it's going to find that seat. As you can see, it's found it, and it's asking us here, well, it's found a machine gun as well. Okay, so usually if you're doing it manually, you would add all this into the controllable vehicle weapons section. And this will do this for as many vehicle weapons as you have. You could have 100 on here. So now that we have that automatically been created for us, we can already go and choose that gunner seat. So this vehicle weapon fixer, it's found that they have not been added to a seat, so they've not been assigned anywhere. So it's asking you which seat you would like it assigned to and the input name to use. Great. It'll automatically find that camera pivot because it searches through the vehicle weapon for that. And it will set everything up ready to go. Now, all I would do for this is ensure, once again, the allow look input is false so that he doesn't rotate silly. We make sure he's visible, and we will set the gun seat as the second seat, so after we hop in as a driver, we can switch straight to the gun seat and back to the driver if we like, if the seats are empty, of course. So if we hit play now, we'll find that the hand IK links route hasn't been set. We'll need to do that. I'm a slow one. Come on. The colliders I mentioned. There's that error. Okay. Right there. So do that quickly, and I'll set that root IK target like I said before. So we will go to the Jeep, go to the seat, the gunner seat, okay, and we'll go to the hands that we created, and drop that in there. Great. Probably want to aim too. And that zoom input, switch weapon modes, you can choose that to however. And off we go. Okay, we're in. We can switch. We can use the weapon up the top. We can change back, change forward, do whatever we like. That easy. Okay, hop out of there just like that on that seat. You don't have to do anything specific like Battlefield. And that's pretty much that. Now, I'll show you how we can expand on these shooters. Okay, if we add a trigger component, say we will choose automatic trigger, you'll see much of this is lost apart from the UI stuff in the weapon shooter and the core mechanics here. What turn it and you aim it with. So that's because they're not required anymore. It's dependent fully on Neo's system. I haven't quite added a safety sort of inspector for this yet, but I will do. But for now, if you're doing it this way, you need to ensure you have all the correct components. So you would need, if you wanted a hit scan shooter, you'll need to add a hit scan shooter. You'll need to set its muzzle tip, which is the fire location. The ammo, you'll need ammo. So let's just give that infinite ammo for now. Okay. The ammo effect. So we'll need an ammo effect we already have. We can select. And we will need to... Hey, why didn't that set muzzle tip? We will need to also hey. Okay, that's odd. Why did it do that? Muzzle tip. Possibly it's not a child directly of that. And if that's the case, we need to set up the weapon down lower, which I didn't notice that before, ever. Let's try that out. Yeah, rightio. Too easy. So just go and grab that, put it back where it belongs. Grab the machine gun. Copy this component. Paste it on that machine gun so it still makes sense and easy to find. And we should be back to where we started basically with that. Grab the other components we used: automatic trigger, hit scan shooter, and infinite ammo. And we'll just add them manually. Might need this audio source. Machine gun. We will then add the ammo effect. We'll add the didn't need to do that, so we're doing it the other way. We'll do the hit scan shooter, and should be able to set its fire location now. So that was a good one to find anyway, because you might run into that too. You can have the tracer and all that as per standard with NeoFPS. We're going to need ammo, and lots of it. Infinite ammo. Choose the bullet ammo effect. Going to need a reloader. And the projectile, the muzzle effect, when you do it like this, you add to the weapon itself, the prefab. So we'll just use the assault rifle muzzle flash from Neo and add it there. Move that a little. Something. Think that's all we needed. Let's just double check. That collider needs to go to, really. Okay. No reference exception. Okay, so I've missed something, of course. Of course. We did not reset up the vehicle after moving that component. Okay, so that's missing from here. You can fix that easily like this, or we could just click the update seats. But we know where it is, and it's pretty much all done for us, so it's easy enough to do that. Okay. You can take it further, use more and more, and do whatever you like there. It's very customizable. Actually notice that hit scan shooter didn't take effect then. So what's happened is we've forgot to add the trigger component. So we'll add the automatic trigger, and we'll want a reloader. Okay, and you can set your audio up however you like with all these things, and we should now get the hit scan effect. Oh, speeding up on me. As you can see, it's now hit scan. You can go and set that weapon up how you like, make it fire faster, harder, however you like. That's all stock standard. Okay, thanks for watching.